James Buddy McGirt and Frank Montgomery. James Buddy McGirt, #1 ranked as a welterweight in the WBC, #1 IBF, #2 WBA, and looking to continue his winning ways. James Buddy McGirt is one of only 3 active fighters with 50 or more victories. Just a year ago, he accounted for 4 of his 51 triumphs. First, it was Miguel Santana, a second-round knockout. Then it was Tommy Ayers, different opponent, same result, an easy second-round stoppage in Atlantic City. Then it was Puerto Rican Charles Baez, who devoured leather and visited the canvas in less than 2 rounds of combat. 3 fights in less than 4 months, all stunning knockouts. McGirt caught the attention of all 3 sanctioning bodies. But just as the title shot was starting to look realistic, McGirt became a victim. No, it wasn't Jose Bermudez who stopped his juggernaut, because McGirt earned a 10-round decision. No, this time it was a serious injury which slowed him down. A ruptured bicep tendon in his left arm. It not only crippled his hopes of contending for a title, it raised doubts about the continuation of a prosperous career. But McGirt wasn't fazed by the trauma, and he's come back with a new perspective on life and boxing.
What happened was Buddy McGirt became a man now. You know, since that injury, my eyes got open to a lot of things around me, and now I see things in a different aspect now. You know what I mean? So what came out, the good thing is that I matured more as a man, and I learned more about life and about people in general.
Buddy, you're a professional fighter for 10 years. Do you feel frustrated right now that you're not getting a world title shot tonight?
Well, this is my job, you know, and good babies don't cry. So I'm not going to sit down and cry like a little baby and ask for someone to give me something. And all I'm asking for is the opportunity. I'll do the rest.
Now that he is sound physically, McGirt's focus once again turns to a shot at another world championship. And the question remains, just how long can a guy with 10 years of experience wait for another title opportunity?
I could go to 95 if you want to be honest, but I don't want to. I want to get a title fight tomorrow if I could. You know, because I want to be world champion again. That's my dream, to be a world champion again, and then, you know, do what I have to do while I'm world champion.
If you could have $3 million or a world title belt around your waist, what would you pick?
Both. Well, put it this way, the $3 million comes with the world title belt. So I get the world title belt first, then I get the $3 million.
Now, on the legal front, James Buddy McGirt was supposed to be a mandatory for IBF welterweight champion Simon Brown, but because of injury, lost out on a potential title shot. His place taken by Glenwood Brown. Now, recently, MSG and Bobby Goodman went to court, and the Superior Court of New Jersey in Essex County ordered that Simon Brown, who is currently the champion of the IBF, must meet Glenwood Brown, the IBF's mandatory challenger, with 120 days. And the judge also ruled that McGirt be next in line for the WBC title holder, who is also Simon Brown. So that means the winner of a Brown-Brown fight might fight McGirt. But realistically, Gil, I mean, this stuff happens all the time. There's no way that Buddy McGirt is going to get a title shot in August.
No, there's absolutely no way that he will. The only thing that poor Buddy McGirt can hope for, the guy's been campaigning so long, if something happens to Glenwood Brown, maybe he'll get the flu or something, and he'll have to step aside. Then they have to put Buddy McGirt in. But he's a kid that he just doesn't get discouraged. McGirt, he shows up, he fights, he keeps winning, he keeps seeing his name in the paper. Eventually, has to get the shot if they don't discourage him first.
Well, McGirt's manager, Al Certo, is livid about the whole chicanery going on in boxing and how McGirt has been slighted. And I think one of the reasons he's been slighted is because he's such a dangerous challenger.
Well, I tell you also, you have to remember that Buddy, it's a fact that Buddy was injured. I mean, so there's not as much chicanery involved as partly Buddy's hard luck.
Right, that's
the fact that he was injured, it took the title shot away from him. That wasn't anybody's fault. It was just unfortunate.
And here comes James Buddy McGirt. He's been fighting for 10 years. 51 wins. This will be his second fight since he suffered a ruptured bicep tendon in his left arm, and he says right now that the left arm is 1 inch bigger than the right arm because he's been working with a strengthening coach.
See, I love that on the back of Buddy McGirt's. Oh, Mr. Magoo. Well, that's what he's like. He's a serious guy, but he has that clowning instinct.
Well, Buddy McGirt's opponent tonight from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Frank Montgomery. He's 14-5-1 with 4 KOs, but after starting his career on fire, he has run into some trouble in his last 8 fights, but he has lost to a couple of former world champions, Joe Manley, IBF junior welterweight champ, Lonnie Smith, WBC junior welterweight champ, and Gary Hinton, who's a heck of a fighter. So he has been in there with those guys, and he has forced the opponents to go the distance and win decision skill.
Yes, no, he's been in with some quality opponents, and you didn't have it up on the graphics. Alan Braswell may be the best fighter of the 4 of them. So he's been in with some tough guys, and you always worry about these Philadelphia guys, Bruce. They show up, and most of them are in condition, and most of them can fight.
We're set for the introduction of the fighters. Right now, let's go to ring announcer Steady Eddie Darian.
From the Villaroma Resort Hotel here in Sullivan County, Catskills, in Callicoon, New York, Madison Square Garden Boxing presents Fight Night's main event. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round welterweight bout, referee Arthur Mercanti Sr. And now, my good friends, introducing the principals. First, in the red corner, wearing the solid blue trunks. He weighed in at an even 149 pounds. This fine gentleman has 14 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, with 4 knockouts. From the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, in the state of Pennsylvania, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Frank the Silk Montgomery. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks with the white trim. He tipped in at an even 148 pounds. Now, this young man has 51 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, with 40 knockouts. The former IBF junior welterweight champion is currently ranked #1 by both the WBC and the IBF, and ranked #2 by the WBA. From Brentwood, New York, ladies and gentlemen, here is James Buddy McGirt.
And there's the son of James Buddy McGirt, Bud Jr.
You both know the rules of the New York State Athletic Convention. You obey these rules.
Just make sure between rounds you leave me some room to work in.
Good luck to you. Shake hands now. Return to your corner to wait the bell. Thank you.
Referee Arthur Mercanti Sr., one of the finest in all of boxing, and he was recently on many talk shows because he was the referee for Ali Frazier 20 years ago, and everyone was looking back at that memorable fight.
Including myself, Bruce. That was one of the greatest nights in boxing history. So let's get down to this one and see what these two guys have.
Buddy McGirt is in the royal blue trunks with the white trim, and Frank Montgomery in the all blue trunks. Used to be that fighters had to travel, Gil, with 2 different colored trunks, but Montgomery only came with 1. It was blue, and it was a problem for a while.
It should be a problem. It should be up to the commission to make sure that these guys have contrasting colored trunks. And, Sam Solomon is an old veteran in Montgomery's corner. He knows that. He knows that he's supposed to have 2 pairs of trunks with him. Sometimes they play little psych jobs.
Montgomery's last fight, February 11th, a win, 8-round decision over Ron Hammond. McGirt's last fight, a TKO in the 9th. That was his comeback fight from the injury against Joe Alexander. That was on January 19th, 1991. So this McGirt's second fight following the ruptured bicep tendon in the left arm. McGirt with a solid left.
Set it up with that right lead, Bruce. Get right back with that left hook. Buddy can trap you. He puts you to sleep, traps you, and then just hits you with those quick combinations. Very relaxed in the ring. Knows what he's doing all the time.
Another crunching left hand that landed right on the face of Frank Montgomery. Montgomery with a 6-inch height advantage. He's 6 foot, McGirt's 5'6". Good jab.
What he does with a lot of old-time fighters, too, he uses his feet. He brings what I call up to the mark, away from the mark. You think you're in front of there, he takes a little skip back, comes back in again. A lot of footwork from Jimmy McGirt.
And as our producer John Gallagher has pointed out, he makes you miss, but miss just by a little bit.
Well, that's the whole idea of boxing, Bruce. If you make a guy miss by 3 feet, you can't hit him back.
McGirt says sometimes he sets him up, lets him hit him a couple times, and then he'll just unload when he catches the guy sleeping.
Very smart fighter.
Uppercut by McGirt. Not throwing a lot of punches in this first round, but he's been very accurate. Big right hand by McGirt, backing up the left. McGirt with a field day in this first round. And both fighters thought that was the end of the round. It was not. So there's 2 different bells which sound almost the same. Those bells, the warning at the 10-second mark.
Something should have been done about that by now. We had it in earlier bouts where it confuses the fighters. They think that the round is over.
Deep breath. You want it slow or strong? Get some Vaseline on it. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
One more?
Now let's take a look at James Buddy McGirt in operation. Now I take that little skip. There's that skip back, right back in with that left hook. Just makes you miss the punch. Keeps you in position that he can still hit you. That's what it's all about.
So the fighters have been told by their corners to be very careful about the bell, which is, I believe, the same bell. It's duplicate sounding, Gil.
Well, it sounds similar to a bell. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt here, but something should have been done about it earlier. A lot of times, Bruce, what they do is they just tap on the canvas with their hand for the 10-second warning, but they're using some sort of a device here.
Second round scheduled for 10. Non-title bout, welterweight division. McGirt, #1 contender, WBC and IBF.
Bruce, I would just like to advise all of any fight fans that really love boxing to watch Buddy McGirt's feet. Watch the way he'll skip in and feint with that left foot. There he is skipping in with that left hand. Just doesn't let you get you. Just don't know where he is. There he is again, in and out. Sets you up so nice.
He will take a long time before throwing a punch if he doesn't like what he sees.
That's right. He just sets you up, lets you miss, and then bang.
Warning by Mercanti. And again, Montgomery missing.
Montgomery thinks he's in it with a ghost, Bruce.
Yeah, he thinks he's in there with Willie Pep. He can't hit him.
And he's a big, tall guy, don't forget. He has the reach advantage. A lot of people talk about that reach advantage. Now you can watch Buddy McGirt making it a disadvantage.
Willie Pep once won a round without throwing a punch.
And won the round.
Yep. McGirt didn't really get the right hand all the way through there, but follows it up with a right.
You know, a guy like a Buddy McGirt, as you had mentioned, where does he get the motivation? He could get discouraged. To fight the way Buddy McGirt fights, you have to be in great condition. Those legs have to be in condition. If he was discouraged now and started to slack off on that training, those legs would go and he wouldn't see the same Buddy McGirt in there.
But we did that fight recently at Corpus Christi with Jesse Benavidez, Gil, and he did not look very good, although he won the fight. He said, my motivation just wasn't there. I'm sick of fighting these non-title fights.
Now, Buddy is a special human being. You talk to him, you can just see that he knows that eventually he's going to get that break. Let's hope that he does.
He's 27. So he's not that old. There's a right hand by Buddy McGirt. Second round drawing to a close at the Villa Roma Resort Hotel in Calico, New York. Stay with us.
Let's take a look. There's James Buddy McGirt again. He feints Montgomery, makes him throw that left jab, makes him miss, and then nails him with that left hook.
Solid jab by James Buddy McGirt on the face of Frank Montgomery.
I'm looking for Buddy to start to close the distance a little bit now, Bruce, and pick up the action.
Buddy McGirt has lost only twice as a pro. There was the fight to Meldrick Taylor. The fight he lost the IBF Junior Welterweight crown. And there was a loss to Frankie Warren. He avenged that loss by winning his only world title.
He avenged that loss with the stoppage, Bruce.
And he did it in Warren's hometown, Corpus Christi. There's a right hand landed by Frank Montgomery.
I think that's the first punch that Montgomery landed in the fight. That may have woke Buddy McGirt up.
We've got McGirt mad.
Oh, another right hand by Montgomery. And here comes Buddy.
Back to the body. Overhand right and a follow-up right by McGirt.
Buddy was just about to trap Montgomery into throwing a nice combination. Arthur McCanty stepped in, says no hitting on the break. I think he read Buddy's mind.
Montgomery scored with another right hand.
But they're not big right hands, Bruce. They're more or less range fighters.
McGirt chops away from the inside.
You know, no matter how good your fighter is, to me, it looks to me as if Buddy McGirt's a superior fighter in here. Once they get inside, you worry about those hits. All of a sudden, the guy gets busted up, and there goes the whole career down the drain.
McGirt chopping again inside. And Montgomery's landed some nice body blows in this round.
Yeah, but they have more or less open glove flailing kind of punches. He doesn't have any hip into the punch. He's not digging the punches in.
Step back, don't hit on the right.
Good defense with Montgomery, though. Get those hands up on the way out. Somebody's bleeding.
And blood is on the left shoulder of McGirt, but I don't see where it's coming from yet. It's not on the face of Montgomery. Right hand by McGirt.
Don't hit on the break.
Final seconds of round 3. Bruce Beck and Gil Clancy at the Villa Roma Resort Hotel in Calico, New York. We're in the Catskills, just 100 miles from New York City. James Buddy McGirt in the ring against Frank Montgomery. McGirt blue trunks with the white trim. Montgomery in the blue trunks. This is round 4, scheduled for 10. Montgomery has slowed McGirt down a little bit by wrestling with him on the inside.
But he's taking body punishment on the inside, and the punches are bothering Montgomery. But again, if I had a superior fighter like Buddy McGirt, I'd tell him to try to stay on the outside, because those heads, although he's the shorter guy, usually the taller guy has a problem with that.
There's a good couple of uppercuts by Montgomery.
Nice combinations by Montgomery. Nice and sharp.
There's blood again over the left shoulder of McGirt.
And I think that has to be coming from Montgomery's nose. We haven't seen any indication of it, but from the location of where the blood is. And Buddy McGirt lands some good solid punches there, Bruce. Left hook, right hand.
Montgomery missing. McGirt pops the jab in there.
We're going to have a tape problem again, Bruce. Any minute, Referee McCanty's going to stop this and change the tape.
On Montgomery's left glove.
And here you can see the skill, the boxing skill, the way McGirt moved out of that corner like lightning. When we thought he had him trapped, he was gone. And referee McCanty's allowing him to box with that tape dangling from his glove. I guess he's waiting for a time when he sees it convenient to stop the action.
McGirt, the master of feinting. Sometimes he even goes after the fighter, feints, and doesn't throw a punch. He just tries to scare him a little bit. Perplex him. Now, McCanty separating the fighters again. 40 seconds left in the 4th round. And there's a right hand landed by Montgomery. Wasn't a lot on it, but it did get to the face of McGirt.
Another right hand by Montgomery.
And he's starting to dance. Left hook by McGirt.
And 2 good stiff jabs by McGirt.
Montgomery came in wide open that time. Left hook by McGirt. And McGirt again landing as the round draws to a close.
Let's take a look at Buddy McGirt getting out of that corner. Moves right back out of there, pushes the guy out, and he's out in the center of the ring, and the other guy's in the corner. That's what you're supposed to do.
Gil, I thought that was Montgomery's best round.
It was, but it still wasn't enough. He still lost the round. In my opinion. Again, Bruce, after that last, the way that last one was scored, I'm not so sure of anything anymore.
This is the 5th round, scheduled for 10. Buddy McGirt campaigning at 147. He says for the last 9 years, that's been his natural weight. He says, my days at 140 are over, but I can go up to 154. And if he does go up to 154, he could possibly beat Terry Norris, WBC Super Welterweight champion, or maybe Gianfranco Rossi. There are some possibilities for McGirt at 154. Good combination by McGirt, especially the right hand.
You watch your Buddy McGirt, you realize how important the legs are in boxing. He's in, he's out, and he can bounce. He's still bouncing.
He doesn't throw nearly as many punches as other fighters, but his percentage of landing for the amount he throws is unbelievable.
Very efficient fighter. And Montgomery's trying. Every 2 or 3 punch combination, none of the punches landed, but they were thrown quickly, they were thrown quickly, they were thrown correctly, but Buddy McGirt wasn't there.
Right hand, monstrous one by Buddy McGirt.
And then he skips away from that jab again.
McGirt scores with the left. He's playing some mind games in the ring with Frank Montgomery. Montgomery with a jab that landed to the body of McGirt. We mentioned Montgomery has fought the likes of Lonnie Smith and Alan Braswell and Joe Manley and Gary Hinton, but Gil, he's been mostly a defensive fighter in those bouts.
Well, yes, he's one of these, he's what you call a surviving kind of a fighter. You know, he's a big, tall guy. He's in good condition. He just doesn't have enough to beat the real top guys. And especially with James Butler, this is probably the best fighter he's ever fought in his life.
Montgomery is 28 years of age, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This round is just about history. Glad you could join us tonight for Fight Night from the Villa Roma Resort Hotel in Callicoon, New York. I'm Bruce Beck, along with Gil Clancy. And we're watching, pound for pound, one of the finest fighters in the world, James Buddy McGirt. You know, Gil, I think the word for McGirt is focused. He came into the ring focused. In the ring, his concentration's been unbelievable.
He's all business, Bruce. That's what it is. With Buddy McGirt, is strictly a business. He's in shape to fight. He comes to fight. He knows what he has to do, and he does it.
An old-fashioned fighter. That's why sometimes he's so disappointed he doesn't get a chance for a big payday, because he says, I would have fought anybody if I held the title for a while.
Well, those were the good old days, Bruce. It's not that way any longer. Too many champions, too many organizations.
His manager, Al Cerno's got it in perspective now. He says, I want the money now. I don't care about anything else. Give me the payday.
Come on, Frank, let's go. Step back. Let's go.
McGirt leaning on Montgomery.
McGirt is doing anything he wants to do in there right now, Bruce. You just see him talking to himself. He says, well, I think I'll take it inside for a while. No, I think I'll box him for a while. He's able to handle anything that Montgomery has to offer at the moment.
And he's equipped to do anything as he lands the overhand right.
All right, break. Left back, stop. Let's go, break. Box.
There's a right hand by Montgomery. Got him right on the butt.
Slapping punch, Bruce. It was a clean punch, but more or less of an arm punch.
His footwork, he just doesn't seem to explode well. You always talk about planting your feet and throwing punches. He just throws those punches. McGirt off the break. Good right hand. Another one. McGirt trying to exhibit some power. Left hook. Action picking up here in the last minute of the sixth. Three-punch combination, which all lands effectively.
Montgomery right at the moment is trying to survive, Bruce. But he is having his way. And there's a little cut, I believe, under the left eye of James Buddy McGirt. Oh, must have been blood from Montgomery's nose. There was no cut under the eye of Buddy McGirt.
Don't lay in there, buddy. Here we go. All right, don't lay in there. You're going to skate back too, all right? Okay. Oh, no, I do. You're never going to want a little of this? You're all right.
Let me see the number.
Let me back.
Let me see the number.
Let me go.
Very little to say, Gil.
Well, you know, what can you say? Your fighter's going along. He's winning every round, in my opinion, again.
Swallow
And,
you want some more?
They're more concerned with the water.
It's like a clinic right at the moment.
Hey, boy,
You know, are you okay, buddy? And what we do tomorrow, buddy? They better keep Buddy he better keep his concentration up, though.
Danny Milano, Howie Albert, and Al Cerno. A corner which has been together for a while, and that rates for something, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does. You know, I see these guys, they get a little success, and they get rid of the guy that started them, and most of the time it doesn't work out. But the Buddy's the loyal guys, been with the same guys, and they've handled them well, and he's fought well. So it's a good combination.
This is the 7th round, scheduled for 10. Buddy McGirt ranked number 1 by the WBC and the IBF in the welterweight division.
And Bruce, you notice he's still bouncing. 7th round, still bouncing. There's nothing, he doesn't go flat-footed. He fights like James Buddy McGirt at all times.
Now Arthur Mercanti will have the tape fixed to the corner of Frank Montgomery. Charles Rainey and George Hansen, along with Sam Solomon in that corner.
Is it the mountain air that's doing that to this tape?
I don't know. Maybe it's the humidity. Yes, that could be a
It's not
factor.
the heat, it's the humidity. Whatever, maybe the mountain air. The tape just doesn't stick.
It should happen by the shore then with all that moisture.
That's it. That's where they should do this. Or spray the room.
New Jersey just had a rule where they have to use gaffer's tape, which is like a duct tape type consistency on the gloves. That sticks a little better.
Yeah, but it sticks a little better. But I think also think it's a little dangerous, Bruce.
It's heavier.
A little more abrasive, and you wind up cutting another fighter's eye with that tape.
Well, Gil, I guess the question about McGirt at this point, is he exciting enough? In other words, does the public demand a fighter be charismatic and exciting rather than old-fashioned and just methodical.
Well, I've seen Buddy in some exciting fights. I mean, I saw him knock out Howard Davis with one big punch, and I've seen him another. With the Warren fight was an exciting fight. Again, a lot depends on the opponent. I mean, he's in there with a guy now who's more or less, in my opinion, just trying to be in there. He's not trying to win the fight. And it's tough to make your moves unless the other guy makes some moves. He can be exciting enough. You put him in with Simon Brown, you'll see an exciting fight. Or Mildred Taylor again.
Don't hit. Go. Box.
Midway through the 7th round at the Villaroma. McGirt has put on a clinic since the opening bell. He showed muscle on the inside, style on the outside. And he just is so strong defensively.
Well, you just saw Montgomery missed a punch, and Buddy just hit him with a punch and said, don't do that again. I'm going to have to hit you again. That's more or less what he's telling him. Behave yourself.
He backpedals as well as he comes in. He went for the big right, trying to take out his opponent, Montgomery.
He's in with a slick guy. Big, tall, 6-foot guy and well-conditioned guy.
And experienced.
Well, he doesn't have the experience that Buddy McGirt has, but he's been in with some good guys. And remember, he's no baby, Montgomery. He's been around a while.
28, fought mostly on the Pennsylvania, New Jersey circuit. Hasn't fought a lot recently. This just his 3rd fight in 16 months. But, you know, he sparred with Maurice Blocker in Atlantic City prior to the fight with Starling, and that seemed to change his focus. He said it really helped him and gave him a lot of confidence, especially when Blocker won the fight. Sometimes that does wonders for a fighter who he's working with.
Well, yes, Blocker did win that fight. Of course, he was just beaten by the great Simon Brown, Blocker. And, you know, Montgomery looks like Blocker. I don't know why they use him for a sparring partner. I think they get somebody with a little more of a style of Stone.
Parents and children alike. As an added bonus, the first child to 18 years old is free for this great family weekend. Remember, Easter weekend here at the
James Buddy McGirt.
March 29 through the 31st. Take advantage of it
51-2-1. Here's a look at the other records. We should focus on the champions in the 147-pound division. Simon Brown 34-1. Mildred Taylor 26-1-1. And McGirt is just 27. It's a lot of fights. One of only 3 active fighters above 50 wins.
Bruce, I don't like to put you on the spot, but who are the other 2 fighters with over 50 wins? Chavez?
That's one.
And I'm a loss for words on the other one myself, Bruce.
I think Roberto Duran is the other. And it counts as active, okay?
You got it. And
George
what about
Foreman?
Big George? Well, we have more than 3. There you go. The graphics were wrong again.
I don't know if, does Foreman have over 50 wins?
Well, maybe the graphics were right. Sorry, graphics.
Well, the 2 that I had were Duran and Chavez.
And yes, that is correct.
Left hook by Buddy McGirt. He gets his feet behind the power of the punch, and it adds to it.
What Buddy McGirt is doing now is he knows he's getting a payday, but he knows how much of a payday he's getting. He's just giving the people their money's worth.
And that's the pride of being a professional. A little bit of a bicycle move there by McGirt, and he pops the left, and I'll tell you, that left has looked good. That ruptured bicep tendon in his left arm has been handled nicely.
The left hook that he just missed, Bruce, those are the kind that could injure that bicep. That's what you have to be careful about, missing.
But Dr. Jack Marzak, who performed the surgery at Good Samaritan Hospital in West Islip, New York, has to be pleased. I would think McGirt a pretty good patient, too, because he works at it.
Just like he does everything else. He's the typical blue-collar guy. Likes to drive a truck.
Yeah.
Likes to be around a family all the time.
He came back from his injury way earlier than expected.
6 months earlier. Right. And that was a serious injury. I happen to have the pleasure of doing that fight for CBS. And he fought the last 6 or 7 rounds with one arm, and still managed to outbox a pretty tough guy.
40 seconds to go in this, the 8th round, scheduled for 10. Buddy McGirt with a terrific combination to the body, and then one punch upstairs. Every once in a while, Gilly goes for the home run punch with the right.
Well, that's you know, tries to lull you to sleep and then put you to sleep. But really, Buddy hasn't been hit 5 solid punches in this entire fight.
McGirt toying with Montgomery defensively now. Bruce Beck and Gil Clancy at the Villa Roma in Callicoon, New York. It has been all Buddy McGirt. This the 9th round. McGirt has led from the outset. And Frank Montgomery, Gil, has not put up much opposition. He's just pretty much fighting defensively.
Well, he's hitting a little bit over his head, Bruce. Every time he tries to push. There's a right hand by Montgomery. Again, it was an arm punch. But he tries to land punches. He throws correct punches. He throws them with speed. But Buddy McGirt just isn't there to get hit with.
And McGirt lands 2 solid rights and has Montgomery wobbling. Big combination by Buddy McGirt. Another overhand right. And Arthur Mercanti steps in, and that is all. He ends the fight in the 9th round.
Well, that was a good move by Arthur Mercanti. Montgomery was not in the fight, had no chance to win the fight. And Buddy McGirt was just too much for Frank Montgomery.
The rights got through to Frank Montgomery, and this one is over. Knockout number 41 for McGirt.
And you notice there was no complaint or anything from Montgomery or his corner. They knew he was beaten. They knew he was in over his head. And rightly, Arthur Mercanti stopped the fight.
He offered little resistance. So McGirt continues to roll. Here's how it ended.
Let's take a look at Buddy McGirt taking Montgomery apart. Again, you can see Montgomery throwing ineffective punches. Buddy just getting himself into position now. There it comes. 3-punch combination finished with a right hand, another quick right hand, and Buddy's right on him with another right hand. There's another 3-punch combination. And another good big right hand, left hook, and Mercanti has seen enough, and rightly so.
One more look at it, Gil.
Well, you can just watch a good professional performer operate on a guy when he has him a little bit wobbling. There's 2 straight right hands. And you notice he won't rush anything, Bruce. He'll just take his time, and punches will be accurate.
So James Buddy McGirt stops Frank Montgomery in the 9th round. Montgomery had gone the distance with so many other big-name fighters. Joe Manley, Lonnie Smith, Alan Braswell, Gary Hinton, but not with McGirt. And it's interesting, this is the 2nd straight 9th round stoppage for McGirt.
Well, you know, Buddy, again, he's taking his time, picking these guys apart, and once the opportunity presents itself, he just takes advantage. I'm pretty sure he would have been content to go the entire 10 rounds, Buddy, and just walk out and put his name in the paper again and picked up another payday.
Well, they're talking about him possibly getting a title shot in August, but Gil and I both think that's kind of doubtful because Glenwood Brown next in line for the mandatory defense of the IBF, so McGirt will just have to wait his turn. Ed Darian is standing by to tell us all about the official time in this stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Arthur Mercanti Sr. stops this bout at 43 seconds of the 9th round, and the winner by TKO, James Buddy McGirt. And Frank Montgomery,
So it's official now. McGirt 52, 2-1. KO number 41. Buddy McGirt, the big story tonight on Fight Night. And Fight Night, the 9th round, as Buddy McGirt just wore down Frank Montgomery, and then he started landing bombs, big right hands. And Arthur Mercanti Sr. etching closer and closer. And he eventually has seen enough when there's no resistance offered by Montgomery. Gil Clancy is standing by with James Buddy McGirt at his camp. Gil?
Buddy, the McGirt clan, you're all here again. Buddy, how do you manage to keep focused on fights like this?
Well, it's hard, Gil. You know, it's hard getting motivated for these fights. You know, as you see, I was a little anxious to try to get Montgomery out. But he was a tough opponent. But this is my job, and it's something I got to do. Sometimes I have a tendency to get lazy in the middle round.
You know, buddy, you said it right. Not too many realize it's your job. You're one of the guys really approaches this the way you should. It seemed to me, buddy, that you were conducting a clinic in there tonight, and I think you would have been content to go the distance at this guy if you just didn't happen to nail the guy.
Yeah, he was very awkward, Gil. He was here to stay, you know, and I was a little anxious, you know. First time I ever been booed by a crowd. So I got booed and I let it get to me, but that all comes with experience.
Buddy, you really didn't get booed by the crowd at all. You may be a little sensitive in that area, buddy. I thought you were conducting a clinic, and I really enjoyed it. I love to watch those feints with your feet, the way you set the guy up, the way you move into punches. And I don't think you got hit 5 solid punches in the entire fight. You're as good looking as ever. What was bad looking?
Thanks a lot, Gil. I feel great, you know. I'm glad with the victory. So I just want to go home now and relax and take it easy and see what they have next for me.
Buddy, you think it's okay for me to ask Al this question? What's next, Al?
Well, Gil, I was happy with his performance as usual, and again, what you says, I enjoy every movement that he does. We would like to fight the guy with the most wins out there. Buddy has 55 wins now with 41 knockouts. You know, the guy with the most knockouts and wins out there, you know, that would be a hell of a big fight.
Who's the guy?
Well, we got to look at the records.
Well, I don't think it's anybody in Buddy's weight class. Maybe George Foreman. You want to fight Foreman, Buddy?
Well, if I had to, you know, I'll fight him for the $10 million.
Well, you got the age on him anyhow. Anyway, congratulations again, guys. Keep up the good work, buddy. Now let's get back to Bruce Beck at ringside.
Thank you, Gil. There's James, 9 years old, little Bud. And there's his dad, Big Bud, who put on another clinic here at the Villa Roma. Buddy McGirt's bandwagon rolls on, 52 victories. Stoppage in the 9th round over Frank Montgomery. We'll be back. Villa Roma in Callicoon, New York, where James Buddy McGirt just scored a technical knockout over Frank Montgomery. And Gil, it was vintage McGirt.
Well, he just conducted a clinic, in my opinion. I love to watch those moves. I can sit and watch that kind of stuff all night. I know it wasn't exciting toe-to-toe, but he was doing a job chopping down a tall tree. That's what he did.
He did what he had to do, and that's what James Buddy McGirt is all about. McGirt's a former IBF junior welterweight champion. He'd like another shot sometime in the not-too-distant future.
Well, you know, with Buddy, he just won't let them discourage him, Bruce. He just won't go away. He's going to have to get that shot.
Well, certainly the champions in the world in the welterweight division have to be concerned when they watch a fighter such as Buddy McGirt because he is dangerous. Simon Brown is currently the champion of both the IBF and the WBC divisions, and the #1 contender is Buddy McGirt, although Glenwood Brown is #2 and is, according to a court ruling, the mandatory challenger for Simon Brown in the IBF because McGirt was injured